Hey, it's Mike Hambright from FlipNerd.com. Welcome back for another exciting VIP interview where I interview some of the most successful real estate investing experts and entrepreneurs in our industry to help you learn and grow. Today, I'm joined by Robert Shemin, an internationally respected wealth creation expert, best-selling author that's published over 16 books. He's been on stage with Tony Robbins, Robert Kiyosaki, and a whole bunch of other folks. He's a wealth advisor for CNN, Fox News, the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times. We could probably spend a whole show telling you what Robert's done. He's spoken to crowds of tens of thousands, but today he's here with me one-on-one and with you, obviously. And we're going to talk about what's holding you back and keeping you from being more successful. There's a lot of psychology to success, and that's probably what's holding you back. And Robert's going to tell us all about that today. Before we get started, though, let's take a moment to recognize our featured sponsors. RealtyMogul.com is an online marketplace for real estate investing, connecting borrowers and capital from accredited and institutional investors. Get a rehab loan fast and close in as little as 10 days. Rates start as low as 9%. We'd also like to thank National Real Estate Insurance Group, the nation's leading provider of insurance to the residential real estate investor market. From individual properties to large-scale investors, National Real Estate Insurance Group is ready to serve you. Please note, the views and opinions expressed by the individuals in this program do not necessarily reflect those of FlipNerd.com or any of its partners, advertisers, or affiliates. Please consult professionals before making any investment or tax decisions, as real estate investing can be risky. Hey, Robert, thanks for being with us today.
Hey, Mike, great to be here. How are you doing?
Good. So glad to have you with us. So, you've got a resume to die for that obviously you've had a bunch of great experiences, and I'm glad that you're going to share some of those with us today.
Well, it's great. I'm calling you from Medellin, Colombia, South America. I'm on a little vacation down here, and I do charity work. Everybody has to pick the reason why they want to start investing or grow their business. I got started to take a vacation. I was working for somebody making no money, miserable. And just want to be able to take a week or two out without not having to beg a boss, not working for the man.
Yep.
And I've retired 3 times from real estate investing, and now invest again and take most of my proceeds and donate them to charities and foundations and help street kids. And we're doing eye operations, and that's one of the reasons I'm down here too. So that's the thing about real estate. You have no idea where it can take you, but you got to get started. And I think that's the hardest thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I found myself recently talking to some friends that are, I'm what I call a corporate refugee. So my wife and I left corporate America to get into real estate investing, and we've had some good success, not quite the successes that you've had yet, but some great successes that have allowed us to not have to work anymore and not have to do things, but we do it because we love it. But, I found myself lately talking to people that are in the corporate world, friends of mine, and saying, we're going to take a trip, we're going to do this or that, and do you want to come with us? And they're like, no, man, I only get 2 weeks of vacation. You just start to think about it differently, that we've left that world behind, and I think a lot of people want to get there.
Yeah. Well, we teach and talk about is quantum success. People think, and we've been brainwashed, trained, that to be successful, you got to work hard, you got to suffer. I was brought up, go to school, try to get a degree, get a good job, stick with it, sacrifice, suffer, make somebody else rich. And then maybe if things work out okay when you're 65 or 75, you can take a few years off,
That's right.
Save a little bit of money, and then you die.
Right.
And I didn't like those rules. I wanted to be able to do things when I want to do them. And I didn't know how because, we're taught, you have to have money to make money. You have to come from a great family, be super smart, real estate or investing, business competitive. And I believe people like hopefully listening today to the show, to your show, which is great, that they'll have like a quantum second. It's called a quantum minute, where you make a decision, everything changes. So I met a guy, no background, no education, no sophistication, started with no money. And I met him. He was making over $1 million a year, taking 6 months vacation. And I looked at this guy and said, wait a minute, if this guy can do this, I got a chance. What if I do 10% of what he did? And in 1 second, I made a decision. Everything I learned about wealth and money and real estate went out the window. That you had to have money to make money, got to be super smart. He wasn't. He's a great guy. He was my first mentor.
Yeah.
And I followed him around for 2 years. And he showed me exactly what to do, how to buy real estate using your own money, how to get money partners, how to find great deals below market, like talking to insurance adjusters and calling for rent ads and networking. And for 2 years, I was scared to death. I had no money. I couldn't even pay my own rent. I had no credit. I moved out of my house when I was 15. Worked at Ruby Tuesdays cleaning tables, so never really developed credit or any income.
Yeah.
And he told me exactly what to do. And of course, like most people, I thought I was pretty smart, and I didn't do what he told me. And I made no money for 2 years. I made no offers, got no deals. So we got to stop there. Real estate investing, and I hope you agree with this, Mike, is pretty simple. Yeah, you got to work at it. Yeah, you got to stick with it like any business. I've done infomercials and watched the infomercials. It's never as easy as the infomercials say, right? But it does work. And there's one question I ask people, what's your risk for making an offer on a property? You have a way out, you have a contingency. And what's your risk for not making an offer? For 2 years, I would not make an offer on a property because I overthought things. Well, once I get it, how am I going to do it? What if this happens? What if that happens? And the way we help people get started is just break things down. Everything you do, what's the risk for doing it? What's the risk for not doing it? Well, what's the risk for you not have made your first offer is developing, 50, 60, hundreds of deals, 40, 50, 60 a year sometimes for you, hundreds for me, an extra 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 grand for somebody on a rehab, or an extra $400 or $500 a month, positive cash flow, and tax benefits. What's the risk for making an offer? Nothing.
Right.
So I look back and go, why did I make offers? Why don't I make more offers? And I go around right now and ask people one question, and myself and my team, how many offers are we making? Well, if we don't make any offers this week, we're not getting any deals. And if we make a lot of offers this week, we might get a deal. That's it. This stuff is simple. So people ask themselves, what's holding them back from making an offer? What's the risk? What's not the risk? And why not make more offers?
Yep. Well, what do there's a lot of psychology in success. And, I just read a quote. Right before we started here, I was looking at Facebook, fooling around, and saw somebody said, does anybody notice, it was a kind of a mastermind group. Does anybody notice that the harder you work, the more, basically it was a kind of a comment to, as you start to achieve success, the more opportunity there is there. So it basically kind of begets itself. But there's so many people that never get to that point. They kind of get frozen. And even if they have a mildly successful business, they can't get up over that hump, and they start to kind of pigeonhole themselves to say, this is where I'm supposed to be for one reason or another. It's I don't want to add overhead, or I don't want to add people, or I want to do it all myself, or I don't know how to get started. It could be any of those things. But what's some general guidance you give people to think differently to try to achieve their goals?
Number one, important, and there's only two types of questions or two types of people. The people that say, I can't do it, and the other one is, how can I, right? So how are you talking to yourself? You have to be very aware of your own conversation with yourself. Number two is you create your own reality. Everything starts with a decision. And what are you thinking about? What are you thinking about right now? I can do it. I can't do it. Real estate's hard. Real estate's easy. It's difficult. There's competition. And I always tell people, whatever you think, you're right.
Yeah.
If you think it's easy, it's easy. If you think it's hard, it's hard. And I'll give you a real example of this. And I really want people to really understand whatever they say is true. I do big conferences with 20,000 people and ask this question: how many of y'all think there's competition in real estate investing? And everybody's hands go up. Oh yeah, there's a lot of investors. Everybody's buying. It's hard to find a deal. And I go, how many of y'all think there's no such thing as competition in real estate investing? My hand goes up. And there's big companies out there like yours and other wholesalers and rehabbers. I know most of them. And the first thing I tell people is, in your town, go network, find the 4, 5, or 6 biggest wholesalers, biggest retailers, biggest rehabbers. They're your best source of deals. They're your best source of buyers. They're not competition.
Yeah.
All the other big wholesalers in my town, I call them every few weeks. They have a deal they don't want to do. I pick it up, make some money. I find a deal that I can't do that week. I'm on overload, or I'm overextended on my rentals or rehabs, and I'll wholesale it to them. So again, whatever you think, you're right. If you think it's competition, they're competition. Get to know them, talk to them. They're your best source of money, best source of deals. And that's how I got started. I met all the investors in my town, and I had a lunch program. Talk about fear, take action. once a week, invite an investor to coffee or lunch.
Yep.
And when I was starting out, I had no money. So I used to tell my investor friends, I'll take you to lunch anywhere you want to go as long as there's a drive-through. Because I couldn't afford much beginning, starting out. And what would happen, and be a giver. I would take people to lunch, not just to suck them for information or whatever. I'd say, listen, how did you get started? What's the most challenging part of your business? Is there anything I can help you with? And some would say, yeah, I need more deals. Can you go find me some duplexes? Okay, I'll go look for some duplexes.
Right.
And so do that. So about fear, let me give you a real example, a scientific study about how you talk to yourself. So today, I want all of y'all to be aware of, are you saying it's hard? Are you saying it's easy? So no politics here. They got 1,000 of the top Israeli soldiers, which is regarded as one of the top armies in the world, highly trained, combat trained, and they top soldiers. I mean, there's like special forces, Navy SEAL type people. And they divide them into two groups. Group A, 500 soldiers. They said today it's going to be the worst day of your life. Usually you hike 20 kilometers, say it's going to be 50. We've tripled the weight in your packs. We've taken all your water away. Most of you won't even finish. The hike, 40, 50, 60% had trouble. Didn't finish. Dehydrated. It was a nightmare. The other 500, they said today's going to be the best day of your life. Usually we hike 20 kilometers. Today it's going to be about 5. It's all downhill. We've given you triple the water. We've emptied your backpacks. There's really no weight. As a matter of fact, at the end of the hike, you'll probably want to go to the gym and do a little workout, build up a sweat. It's going to be just so easy for you guys. At the end of the hike, they interviewed them. Most of them, 85%, said it was the easiest hike. They didn't break a sweat. They didn't get out of breath. It was the same 15-kilometer hike, same weight, same water, no difference. And here are highly trained people. And what was the only thing that was different? What they were told.
Right.
What they anticipated. What they expected. What they created.
Yeah. Yeah. What's interesting in real estate, in my experience, is people isolate themselves. It becomes a lonely business. You don't share ideas. You think everybody's your competitor. And I used to think that way, in all honesty. And we were pretty successful out of the gate, and it wasn't because of the thinking, but it definitely held me back. And when I started to mentor people and bring people right into my market that I mentor and coach, people are like, you're bringing in your competition. And I was like, yeah, but we're doing deals together. We're sharing ideas. We're taking things to another level. And I think a lot of people don't really have that mentality, but it absolutely does hold you back. No doubt about it.
I come from a poverty scarcity mentality. If I spend $1, I lose $1. If somebody else is doing what I'm doing, it's competition. We can't afford this. And these are all things in your subconscious that affect you. And, there's 5.6 million residential real estate transactions going to happen this year in America. I've only got to do 8 of them, or maybe 20, or maybe 4, or maybe one big one to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then people go to markets. Well, how's the market? And here's what I say: which market?
Yeah.
Even in Dallas or Atlanta or Miami or Nashville, there's 22 different markets. There's low income, middle income, high income, commercial A, commercial B, commercial C. But people always look for a reason not to do something.
Yeah.
So what I want to do is write down 3 reasons to do it. So here's the thing about motivation, and it's so simple. People have heard it, but they don't really do it. What's your real motivation? Why are you really doing real estate? And unless there's enough pain, you're not going to do it. Or pleasure. The number one human motivator is pain and fear of loss. So if somebody's comfortable and cushy and, making money, and they aren't really that in much pain, they're probably not going to do real estate investing.
Yeah.
Now, if you're really driven, to build a retirement, financial freedom, spend more time with your kids, get rid of your silly boss, and that pain is great, then you'll do anything to get rid of the pain.
Right.
And that's what did it for me. I just had a horrible boss. I couldn't get time off. I was making no money, and the pain, it took 2 years to really build. And I tell people, if I get a group of moms together and we do a seminar and teach them about wholesaling, I say, how many moms want to wholesale a house next 90 days, make an extra 5, 10, 15, 20 grand without any risk? True wholesale deal. Put under contract, sell before you have to close. You have a contingency. I still do a lot of wholesaling, no risk. No market risk, no cash risk.
Yeah.
And, 50 moms will raise their hand and say, oh, yeah, I want to do it. And in the real world, how many are really going to do it? They'll get busy with life, school, kids,
Right.
work. And then I say, listen, I hate to use this example, but let's say somebody really bad, one of these ISIS characters, got a hold of one of your kids, the one you really like, and say, if you don't wholesale a house the next 20 days, we're going to do something bad to the kid. Every mom would go out there and wholesale 6 houses.
Right.
Even the other moms would wholesale another house just to help out the other mom.
Yeah.
What's the only thing that's changed? Motivation.
Right.
And so I tell people, write down, we have an exercise called 7 levels deep. Well, why do you want to be a real estate investor? Well, most people say the same thing. I want to make some money, be financially free. Okay, great. That's level 1. Why do you want to make more money? Well, I want to pay for my kids' private school, take a vacation, take a trip, donate more money to my church, synagogue, mosque, whatever. Okay. Well, what's important to you about donating money or taking care of your family or being financially free? That's level 3. You got to really dig down deep and find out what that true motivation is.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And all of a sudden we go from, I want to make more money. Well, I really love my family. I really want to spend more time with my kids. I want to spend more time with my husband, my wife. I want to treat them better. I want to give them things my family couldn't give them.
Yeah.
My parents couldn't give me. Okay. Well, if that's your true motivation, then nothing will stop you. But you got to dig down. That was just 3 levels. We want people to go 7 levels deep. What's important to you about making money? What's important to you about spending time with your kids? Where does that come from?
Right.
Why? And when you dig down deep and tap in that real motivation, nothing will stop you.
Yep. And what about the more experienced investor? Because I'm seeing some things. In all honesty, we've been doing this for 6 years. I see some people that have been in the business about the same amount of time that I have that have been really successful, and then sometimes people start to flounder. They're like, it's not about the money anymore. Their motivations are different now than they were when they first started. How do you think for successful real estate investors they maintain that? I mean, I know it's many of the same things, but most don't want to stop. If they wanted freedom, then after they've hustled for that long, they can't see, they've kind of figured out the real estate game in many ways, and they don't want to stop. It's like, what am I going to do if I retire early? Just like you,
well,
right?
That happened to me. I retired 3 times.
Yeah.
And it's the exact same thing. Well, first of all, 2 things happen, the experienced investor. And I know all this stuff we're talking about, I've learned the very hard way.
Yeah.
This is not some theory. Number one is a lot of investors work really hard. They love it. It's exciting. I call it dealitis. We do deals, whether it's rentals or rehabs or flips or wholesales. And we get burned out because we're typical business. We're doing everything. And I want people right now to write down all the jobs they're doing. Property acquisition, subcontracting, general contracting, repairs, property management, finance, accounting, bookkeeping, human resources, asset protection, being your own attorney, closing coordinator,
right,
a leasing expert. How many jobs can a person do well? So they're burned out because they didn't build a team. They don't have a real business.
Right.
They're doing everything themselves. I've got about 80 people working for me today. Now, I want to be very clear about this. The first 7 years, I did everything myself. And I was good at it, most of it. I love it. It was fun.
Yeah.
Burned out. It's fun. It's exciting, making great money, working 7 days a week. And what's the whole reason we got into real estate? Financial freedom. But nobody has the freedom because we love it and we're working all the time.
Right.
So number one, there's balance. Build a team. Let go. And number 2, same thing we just talked about. Why are the investors floundering? Why do we lose our motivation? Well, what's our motivation now? We have money in the bank, cash flow. We paid off some houses. We can take time off. And one of the worst things about goal setting, and the people are going to be shocked by this, is when you achieve them.
Yeah.
So, I want to make $100,000 a year, or $500,000 a year, or build $1 million or $2 million in net worth. Well, once you do that and you have free time, what are you going to do now?
Right.
And that's what happened to me. I retired and then I went back to work because whatever your motivation is fine. Once I went traveling around the world, that was fun for about 10 months. And then I came back and said, I want to contribute something. So now I use real estate as a vehicle to help others, fund foundations and charities, and still live a great lifestyle. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But that's one of the reasons I'm down here. We have this huge charity. We pick up street kids. So the real estate deals fund that. So now I'm more motivated to do real estate deals because I've got a new reason to do them.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask the tired, older investors who are being successful, what's your new motivation? Maybe it's your grandkids, kids. Maybe it's a charity. Maybe it's getting a big new house or another Lamborghini, whatever it is,
Yeah.
you better know it, write it down, and look at it, because your motivations, your goals will change, especially when you meet them.
Yeah, I think it's interesting you say that, because I know a lot of more veteran real estate investors, and I see them go from needing real estate to get them financial freedom or time freedom, whatever it might be. And then they get to a point to where they see a house as a vehicle. Houses are vehicles for things. So not necessarily personal things, but to, I want to, maybe it is, I want to take a big trip. Therefore I need to do 3 deals to pay for it. Yeah. Or I want to contribute this
family to a cruise that's 25 grand, all 10 of them or 15 of them, it's going to be a rehab or 2 wholesale deals.
Yep. Yep.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah. Or I want to give back to a charity. I want to do this. I want to pay for that, or help fund this. I need to go do a deal to get that done. And they start, that becomes the currency, is the deal. And I think that's what keeps them in the game and excited about doing it, where you maybe get burned out of doing the same thing over and over previously when it was just about the money.
Yeah. And let's talk about goals for one more minute, because I've been to every seminar. I love all the speakers, all the books, I write self-help books, but self-help really doesn't work, and goal setting really doesn't work. And people are going to be shocked by that. I've been to like 3-day seminars on goal setting. I used to set 100 goals on New Year's. And how many other people like me have done that? And all of a sudden you look at your list and go, wow, I wrote down 20 things and I maybe did 1 of them, right. Maybe 2. And here's about goal setting. I believe business life can be very simple. That's why we don't get started. We complicate things. I've out-thought and out-analyzed and out-worried myself out of millions of dollars. I'm sure you have too, right?
Yep.
Think, wonder, worry, analyze. It's all about doing. But here it is about goal setting. I believe you only need 2 goals. So number 1, set a big goal. Exactly where I want to be, and set a time frame. I don't believe in general goals. I want to be thin, rich, and happy. That's no good. I want to make 10 grand a month in a year. I want to retire in 5 years making 15,000 a month. I want to do 3 houses that generate me $1,200 a month. Be specific with a time frame. Set the big goal. Where do you want to be? And give it an exact time frame. Number 2, the only other goal that matters is, what am I going to do today to get there? Work backwards. Well, if I want to get 10 houses and $100,000, I probably got to make 100 offers. I've got to spend 4 or 5 hours a week looking for motivated sellers, focused. So we teach people how to block time.
Yep.
I only block 7 hours a week now for real estate. I used to work 60 hours a week at real estate, but I was getting nothing done. I do a couple deals, and now I'm very efficient. We're going to block 45 minutes, and all we're going to do is look for motivated seller ads and Craigslist. Circle, must sell, make offer, divorce, estate sale, probate. We're going to do mail for 2 hours, quit claim deeds. We're going to call 10 wholesalers and see if they have any deals, or build a buyer's list.
Yeah.
One thing at a time. So the only real goal is, what am I going to do today? Most people spend a year thinking, wondering, worrying, analyzing, planning. And I'll give an example. It's like being a successful investor, like going to the gym. I want to get in shape, lose some weight. Okay, I'm going to join a gym. Well, let's go have lunch and talk about going to the gym. Let's go read some books about going to the gym. Let's watch some more videos about going to the gym. Yeah. And, I love Flip Nerd. You got to educate yourself. But what am I going to do?
Absolutely.
Go to the gym for 20 minutes, start walking, do a little class. And if you did that 3 times a week, something's going to happen.
Yep.
Same with real estate. Block time, make offers. The only goals we have in real estate: find a motivated seller, make an offer with no risk. Then we take 12 minutes and decide.
So don't spend your time looking to see what's going on Facebook, you're saying?
It's funny. I teach people a time blocking system, and it's very simple. What's the activity I'm doing? How much time does it take? Will it make me money? How much money? And can I get someone else to do it? And, every hour you're on Facebook or Twitter or talking to your friend, doing your laundry or watching television, while you're supposed to be working, is not going to make any money. And most people even spend their time doing something that makes them no money, that does not get them any results. So start tracking your time, looking at it. And again, I'll challenge any investor. 70, 80, 90% of what we do does not make us any money, does not progress our business.
Yeah.
So when we get people more efficient, more focused, it's going to do well. Only one thing in real estate will make you money: contracts and closings.
Yep.
So every minute you're not doing that, we're probably wasting our time.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. Well, Robert, hey, thanks so much for spending time with us today. Any kind of final words for folks to get motivated, and then tell us a little bit of how folks can learn more about you, how to learn more about the great work you're doing.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest ways to get motivated is who you're around. And one of the things I did was create an advisory council. I went and found 3 or 4 super successful business people, investors, and asked them, I'll pay them, buy them lunch, dinner. Can we get together? Can I talk to you? Can we meet maybe twice a month or once a month for 30 minutes? Be around successful people. Watch the language you use and watch the language they use. I want everyone to track today and tomorrow how much positive stuff they say to themselves, how much negative stuff, and can they say things a little different? Because whatever you think and say, you are correct. And if anyone has any questions or anything, I have a website, robertshemin.com. That's SHEMIN. And because I love what you do, I'm going to give people my personal email if they need something, have a question, if that's okay.
Are you a member of FlipNerd.com, the most robust real estate investing platform in existence, where you can find off-market wholesale deals and great vendors literally in your market? You can get access to advice from experts and learn about local clubs and events right in your backyard. If not, please visit FlipNerd.com and register for a free account. You can register in less than a minute. It's pretty much the coolest site that's ever existed in the real estate investing industry. So get on over to FlipNerd.com.